Good morning all of you. In the last class we have started our analysis of water, and under this we have discussed about the physical parameters such as color, taste and odor. And today we are going to discuss about some more physical parameters such as temperature, turbidity and specific conductivity. So, let us first discuss about turbidity. If a large amount of suspended matter such as clay, silt and other finely divided organic materials are present in water, then the water will become muddy, cloudy or turbid, and the turbidity will depend upon the concentration of the particles present in water. These clay and the inert suspended particles may not be harmful to human health, but it should be removed from the aesthetic or and psychological point of view, because people will generally not like to drink a turbid water. And also the presence of turbidity will resist the passage of light through the water bodies, and the turbidity is expressed in parts per million or milligram per liter. The parts per million, it is also you can consider it as ppm. The standard unit of turbidity is that which is produced by presence of 1 milligram of finely divided silica in 1 liter of distilled water. That means when 1 milligram of finely divided silica is present in 1 liter of distilled water, then the turbidity that will be produced is considered as standard unit. That means it is considered as 1 milligram per liter. And the permissible limit of turbidity in drinking water is generally taken as 5 to 10 ppm. Your turbidity can be measured by a turbidity rod or by a turbidimeter. Generally in field we will use turbidity rod. So, see, this one is a turbidity rod. So, it consists of a aluminium rod. This is an aluminium rod which is graduated. You can see the graduations. It is graduated in order to give the turbidity directly in milligram per liter. And to this upper end there is a graduated tape which is attached so as to help in lowering of the rod into the water sample. And also you can see at the end there is a platinum needle and a nickel ring. This platinum needle is of diameter 1 mm and length 25 mm. And also there is a mark for eye position on the graduated tape. So, in order to measure the turbidity, suppose we will take a sample of water and we have to measure the turbidity. So, we have first in this what we will do, we will lower the graduated aluminium rod. So, this rod we will lower the graduated aluminium rod in the sample and we will mark the platinum needle. So, the position at which the needle will just disappear, then that point will be considered. Suppose this is the level of water and this much of portion is of the rod is inside the water, and at this point the needle will disappear and it is not visible to our eye. That means the graduation which is near the level of water, that will directly gives the turbidity in ppm. That means the length of the rod under water is a measure of the turbidity. The lesser the length, the greater is the turbidity, and vice versa. So, this is how the turbidity rod works. Then next one is turbidimeter. The turbidimeter is generally used in order to measure the turbidity of water sample in laboratories. So, there are different types of turbidimeter: Jackson turbidimeter, Bellish turbidimeter, nephlometer. So, then this nephlometer is widely used turbidimeter, is a widely used turbidimeter, and it is based on the principle of scattered light. In this turbidimeter, the intensity of scattered light is served as a measure of turbidity. Next come to the parameter, that is temperature. As we know, the cooling water which are generally the discharge from your thermal and nuclear power plant, when that water will enter into the natural water bodies, it will result in the rise of temperature of water bodies, and due to the rise in temperature, generally the chemical and biological activities will get hampered, and the activity of biological life is more at higher temperature, and hence when temperature of water rises, there will be a demand for dissolved oxygen. There will be more demand for dissolved oxygen. So, testing of temperature of water is testing of temperature of water has usually no practical significance, as this is not possible to give any treatment to control the temperature of water. However, for potable water, the temperature of about 4.4 to 10 degrees Celsius is desirable, but if the temperature is above 26 degrees Celsius, then that is objectionable. Then we will next come to the specific conductivity parameter. So, specific conductivity means the electrical conductivity of water. Electrical conductivity of water is means the ability of water to conduct electricity. The pure water, as we know, the pure water is poor conductor of electricity, but when ions of dissolved salts are present in it, then it will show conductivity. The elements whose ionic forms contribute to these to conductivity includes calcium, magnesium, potassium, bicarbonate, sulfate and chloride, etc. So, these are the ions which impart conductivity to water. Okay. So, this conductivity, the higher the concentration of these ionic constituent, the higher will be the conductivity. The specific conductivity of water is measured by means of a potable ionic water tester, which is called as a conductivity sensor. It will measure that how much electricity is being conducted through a centimeter of water, and this conductivity, specific conductivity, is expressed in a unit known as Siemens. So, in clean water, the order of magnitude of specific conductivity is in the range of microsiemens per centimeter. So, this is all about the physical parameters of water. In the next class, we will discuss about the chemical parameters of water. Thank you.